You're tuned into Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen brings energy, focus, and creativity with the most cutting-edge tools and systems needed to grow business, drive profits, and achieve dreams. Ready to rise? Here's your host, Doreen Milano.
Hi, I'm Doreen Milano, and we're here with Big Ideas Small Business. We're going to talk about coaching today. We're going to talk about changes in business. You know, things are going to not go back to the way they were. They're going only forward. And we're starting to establish how businesses are going to be able to thrive for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So today we're going to talk to Mary Thomas. She's a physical therapist and her business is Innovative Therapy. Welcome, Mary.
Thanks, Doreen. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Now, you had a business and you were living down south, correct?
Correct. Deep South Texas.
And you moved up here and you couldn't bring your business with you. You had to reestablish it. Is that correct?
Correct. Complete reestablishing is almost like starting over, really.
And what happened in that process for you?
Well, one of the really good things that happened was I met you. Because I ended up, it was a very different culture in Dallas, and business is a different culture. And so things that worked for me where I moved from were not necessarily working for me here. And so in some of that, what do I do? What are my options? What are my choices? I had met you and we had a meeting and then started working together.
All right. So one of the things that was really prominent in our relationship was establishing some boundaries and ground rules, correct?
Oh yeah, boundaries have been a big part of our relationship and a big part of my personal growth the whole time that we've worked together.
And what did you notice as far as the Mary that was before she moved to Texas and or Dallas, and the Mary that is sitting across from me now?
I have a lot more definition for my business, my processes, my boundaries, interacting with other people, a lot more clarity in all of those areas.
And when we started working together, one of the things that we talked about was your ability and willingness to really do some interpersonal work so that when we built the business around you at the core of the business, the normal blockades would not be there.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that made me want to work with you, because there were a lot of people I had met that were telling me how they were business coaches. But as a physical therapist, one of the things that I've observed over 30 plus years of practice was how a person is feeling on the inside and how they're perceiving the things on the inside affects what happens on their outside and how their body responds and heals to different treatment methods. So when you started talking about that with me in business, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a fit. Because I knew that is absolutely true, is that what's manifesting, in the physical body and what you're seeing as far as pain goes is connected to what I'm feeling and thinking emotionally on the inside. And then you started telling me how that affects your business, and I was like, yeah, this makes total sense to me.
So what are some of the hurdles as you have experienced them?
Hurdles with working with you, or hurdles that I had to overcome myself?
Hurdles that you had to overcome yourself. Let's start there. Then we'll talk about the hurdles you had working with me.
Some of my hurdles. I guess the first one that comes to mind is that we worked through was knowing my direction and being very firm in my direction and my commitment. I had developed a system to help people move better and help them balance their bodies from the inside out. And what I had to learn was it didn't matter what anybody else thinks. What I do works, and I need to be true to what I do and share that with people.
Truly believe in it.
Truly believe in it, and truly just stay committed to lead people through that, because sometimes I have to use a little strong arm, as I call it, which is actually really gentle, because one of the things I have to undo in my business and people's mindsets is physical therapy is no pain, no gain, and brutality and beating me up. And
it's got to hurt, right?
It's got to hurt, or there's not going to be any benefit. And one of the things that I get to lead people into understanding is that it doesn't need to be brutal if you're focused on the balance, and if you're focused on what you're hearing and what the body's communicating with you. And what I learned from you was it's similar in business, is what is the market communicating to you? What is your response with the market? How are you interacting with that? And how does that feel to you? And how do you lead people into understanding that?
Great. So when we are talking about some of the hurdles, you had some hurdles working with me.
You mean challenges working with you?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Well, I think there were more challenges okay, so you are very good at helping someone face some of their emotional blocks, or I call them untrue beliefs. I don't know if that's what you would call them.
I would call them beliefs that are no longer valid or untrue.
Okay, yeah. Well, I call them my untrue belief pile. Okay, and I have this big old pile. It was way bigger than this, by the way. But my untrue belief pile, and as you saw your job, or how I see you seeing your job, was that it was to pick apart those untrue beliefs, which I saw, not knowing this at the time, by the way, but I saw these untrue beliefs as my absolute foundation of rock solidness. And so the hurdle was really me accepting the fact that these untrue beliefs and these things that I had adopted as absolute fact in my life were not necessarily true, and were sometimes, okay, if not frequently, detrimental to me achieving my goals and really sharing my system with the world, because this pile of detrimental or untrue beliefs was holding me back from really opening up and being able to share this whole other concept of treatment through gentleness and through listening to the body. But that was being blocked because of my pile of untrue beliefs. So the friction between us was, oh, wait a minute, she's just trying to get me to let go of another piece of my pile. I just need a bigger shovel.
So where is your self-confidence right now with regards to your treatment process for your clients and you personally as a business owner?
I have a lot more confidence now, because I realize that so many of these beliefs worked at some point in time in my past for me.
Correct.
And were helpful at some point in time, and even supported survival at another point in time.
Absolutely.
But at this point in time had become, the Grand Canyon, and getting across that chasm to get to my goal. And so in allowing them to change and allowing them to come to a better realization, both boosted my confidence, because I was like, whew, I can let go of stuff that I have really depended on and thought was what I trusted in order to get me where I wanted to go. So it was like, I can let go of things that are hard to let go of. And letting go of them actually created freedom for me to achieve my goals.
That is awesome. And that's a great outcome.
Yeah.
But it took us both working really hard to get to that point.
Yes, it has been really hard work, but I think growing a business is always hard work. But do you want to put that hard work into production where you're getting results, or do you want to put hard work into spinning your wheels and just working hard?
Which is a great question we're going to leave you with as we go and let our sponsors have a moment.
We'll be right back after these messages. Strong business has always been the clear economic indicator. Work Suites in Allen, Texas is just one of 18 locations in DFW and Houston that support your necessary transitions with full service and affordable workspaces for upgrading or downsizing your current workload. You need to be focused on growth. Trust the office experts and helpful staff at Work Suites to take care of everything else, from dedicated phone lines and internet to furnished executive and co-working spaces. The OBBM network has tripled our business in the short months we've been with Work Suites and encourages you to step out boldly, make the tough decisions, and give back to work your way. Your nation depends on it. The OBBM network acknowledges that this is a pivotal time in history, and it is clear the United States of America has been undermined by many of our elected officials for some time now. We want our local business audience to stand strong in the face of what we now understand, and to be empowered to grow our businesses on the local level beyond the limitations that have been imposed upon us. We believe it is in our national interest to inspire our communities through strong economic development, and additionally to hold our elected officials accountable for accurate representation of we the people. For that reason, we encourage you to go to WeStandForFreedom.com to learn about the National Write Your Congressman organization that has been the trusted communication tool for local communities for over 60 years. Learn how your representatives are voting. Understand the laws and regulations under consideration on the state and federal level before they are enacted at the county and city levels. Communicate directly with these officials and stand up for yourself, for by doing so, you will protect the communities you serve from tyrannical rule and unconstitutional reforms. The OBBM network is the premier voice for local business, and we take that responsibility seriously. The OBBM network has everything you need to grow and transition your business for success on popular syndicated podcast networks, Roku and other video channels, and the OBBM network app. We work for you, local business, and we've got your back.
Welcome, we're back, and we're talking to Mary Thomas from Innovative Therapy. Now, Mary, one of the things that I know most business owners have out there right now, especially now, is fear.
I can relate to that comment. I probably resemble that remark.
So, are you okay with talking about some of the fear that you've had to move through in your business to get it to the state it is today?
So I'm going to put on my courageous girl pants and my Wonder Woman, I don't know, does she have a cape? I don't think she has a cape, but I'll put on my Wonder Woman bracelets and we'll go for it.
So what was the fear masking for in your business?
What was the fear masking? That's a really good question. So, okay, this is going to get really vulnerable. So my fear was masking several things, I think. One, was my system really going to be as good as I thought it was, or as good as I think it is?
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is a big
huge
one. And what I'm seeing is that I am seeing the results that I absolutely believe and knew that it could bring for, large numbers of people. So that fear was kind of like, okay, we're okay. But, there was also this almost fear of success, that if I'm successful, what does that really mean in my life? And what does that mean in relationships? And what does that mean going forward? And that was also a fear, which as I say that, I'm like, isn't that what we all want? We all go, I want to be successful. But success can be different for different people.
Absolutely.
And so my passion is to help people get more wholeness, more wellness, more ability to move with greater ease and comfort, and with greater power and strength, without having that quote unquote force thing that people associate with physical therapy. And so could that be done? And yes, it can be done.
Absolutely, it can be done.
And then where does that take me as far as success goes in other areas of my life?
So let's morph that just a little bit and talk about fear and success for your clients. Because it kind of parallels the journey you've been on.
It does, because I've had clients where I've actually said to them, what would it mean to you not to have this pain? Whatever this pain is for them. And they kind of had the same reaction I did, where there was this pregnant pause. Because one, they haven't really thought about it. But until you've thought about it and become aware of that fear and how it blocks you, you also aren't able to let it go. Because you don't realize the block the fear is creating. And so, in fact, recently, one of my clients sent me an email later that day, that evening, and she was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't answer the question. And I said, but you thought about it.
And that's the point.
That was the point.
You know, one of the rules that we have in my practice is really simple. Your body will never go where your brain has not already gone.
Absolutely, that's
so
true.
So you have to think it through before you can execute it.
Exactly.
Right? And so your patients have that same issue. How do you deal with moving your patients through that process of overcoming their fear and overcoming the stigmas that they come into your practice with? Like no pain, no gain, and those kinds of things.
One, I actually follow a lot of what I've learned from you during business coaching is you ask a lot of questions that make me think. And that has really helped me as I've worked with my patients and the people that I work with, is to ask them questions to have them think. And I even suggest to them sometimes, I'm like, you don't even have to answer me right now. You might not ever want to give me that answer. But the truth is, if you can honestly answer that in your own mind and heart, it will change the way that you are able to release this pain and the way that you're able to return to function.
Absolutely. When we talk about and face our pain and our fears, a lot of really miraculous things happen.
Well, one of the big things for me has been, really, I was making it as big as the building in my head, and it's really probably the size of a tennis ball in real life. So it became much smaller as I was able to, build that relationship with you and realize I could admit fears, and you were like, yeah, so? And I was, and it was like, yeah, really, so is it that big of a deal? And things that I saw as these just overwhelmingly scary things that I've had to face and confront and deal with in business and in myself in order to do the business became, oh, that's really not that big of a deal, just in the admission of the fear.
Right. So one of the things that goes on for employers is something really scary, and that is hiring their first set of employees. And when you hire your first set of employees, you have to do some internal growth in order to be able to do that successfully. You have to learn how to communicate differently. You have to learn a lot of things about, positioning, process, how somebody's going to be able to deliver your value to your clients, what the culture of the company needs to look like and feel like, what the core values are, and how your employee is going to then embody those core values and deliver them to your clients, your vendors, your fellow employees. And you step through that. Was that difficult for you?
It has been difficult. One, I'm one of these people that kind of goes, oh, I don't want to make a mistake. And I guess that's been one of my fears is like, oh, what if I make a mistake? And that really holds you back in business. And the truth is, what if you do make a mistake? Was it really a mistake? I've asked myself that a lot of times recently. Was that really a mistake, or was that a stepping stone? Was that an experience prepared for me that allowed me to learn a lesson that I really needed to learn about myself? That it was like, oh, maybe you need to do a little bit more looking inside here. And that was just an opportunity to lead you into that experience.
Absolutely. So that, hiring people, the not so fun part of terminating people.
Yeah, there's that part too.
There's a lot to be learned in that process. How have you overcome that?
One, admitting that there has been fear involved in that. Am I hiring the right person? Am I going to be good enough at communicating with them the core values and how things need to be done and what I want, as well as communicating when things aren't done, how they need to be and consistent with the core values. And so part of it's been practice, and being able to say, this isn't going to be a fit, and being able to let go of people and situations that aren't fits. Because I'm the type that's like, oh no, I'm gonna make it fit, round square, round peg, square hole, and at this point I'm getting to the point where I'm really like, this isn't a fit. I thought it was a fit, but it's not gonna work, so it's time to move on.
So, and you got through all that with some hands-on, one-on-one coaching with some very practical processes.
Yes.
So we're going to stop right here. We're going to talk to our sponsors again, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
We'll be right back after these messages. Introducing IV Hookup.
IV treatments have been the standard of care used for years to deliver intravenous hydration treatment to patients. Our medical director has created a safe, industry-standard protocol to efficiently support your wellness through IV vitamin hydration, including options for athletic performance, mood enhancement, general wellness, and hangover recovery. IV Hookup now offers full-spectrum COVID-19 testing at reasonable prices. This means we can get you and your staff tested in a quick time frame. Are you hosting a group event? We can provide a customized package for IV treatment and COVID testing as well. IV Hookup is everything you need to both stay healthy and to prove it.
Go to ivyhookup.com to order yours, and we'll bring it right to you. That's ivyhookup.com.
We are back, and we are talking to Mary Thomas from Innovative Therapy, and we've got 5 more minutes here that we're going to chit-chat. And what is the one thing that you want people to know before they go to a physical therapist?
In my perspective, physical therapy is not about pain or beating the body up or whipping it into submission or becoming the master over your body. It's about integrating with your body, about understanding it, about hearing what your body has to say and the messages that it gives you, and responding to those messages in a supporting and loving way so that your body then can open and heal. Because our bodies honestly heal themselves. I mean, even if we go in and have a surgery, it's the healing after the surgery that brings more function.
Correct.
And so when we're able to listen to our bodies, feel what they need, respond to their communications, and the system that I've developed is all about both learning how to listen to your body And then how do I respond to that in a way that supports my body in healing with ease and grace, rather than, a bullwhip and a cattle prod and, enough reps that you're aching all the time. And instead of doing that is to find a way to lead the body to do what it naturally wants to do, which is to be well and whole and healthy. It just needs sometimes some leadership and some hand-holding and some direction in order to get it there.
Wonderful. Are all physical therapists the same?
I'm going to have to say no.
It's okay.
I actually had one of my clients say to me, like, "You're not like other physical therapists." And I guess that came because I had my own surgeries and my own history of recovery and rehabs, and realizing that I really felt like there was a better solution. And I have this giant poster, as you said earlier, the name of my business is Innovative Therapy. And so I had this giant poster on my wall that says, "Innovate. If there's a better solution, find it." And I found this poster about 20 years ago. And as I would sit in my desk and look at this giant poster, I would think, what's the better solution? How could services be offered differently so that it supports the body in healing rather than forcing it and shoving it into a direction? And that led me to find gentler and more holistic ways of treating the body, to treat the entire system rather than treating just the broken part.
And how long have you been a physical therapist?
Well, I've been a licensed therapist, it's true, more than 30 years. I know I look good, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
But I've been licensed for more than 30 years, and I worked as a tech and in school and all that stuff for about another 8 or so. So pretty close to pushing 40 years at this point.
And so how do we find you?
So I have a website, which is innovativetherapypc.com. I'm on Facebook with the same name, Innovative Therapy PC, and there's this little reaching person. That's you reaching. The sphere represents your maximum potential, because I believe everyone can be better than they presently are, including me, which is why I work with Doreen.
That's awesome. And so you are taking clients, is that correct?
I am absolutely taking clients.
And you're taking clients online, physical therapy online.
Yes, which surprises people how much result they can get from online physical therapy. But with the system that I use, the patient actually learns how to continually do this system and continually improve their system over time. So they get worksheets and they can do it through Zoom. I demonstrate movements and they do them, and I coach them over the computer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. To reach me, Doreen Milano. My company is Visions to Excellence. My website is V, as in Victor, number 2, capital E, .biz, v2e.biz. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day. As your executive business coach, I'll show you the winning formula that I use with hundreds of clients to get positive results. Let me show you how to avoid unnecessary strain on your systems, processes, and your people. You need to have 2 business goals right now, today. And do you know what they are? And the rule of 72 has a huge effect on your ROI. Do you know how to manage that? v2e.biz. Give me a call.
This has been Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen Milano solves problems for small and mid-market family-owned businesses and service-based industries. To work with Doreen, go to v2e.biz. For guest and sponsorship information, call 650-483-5798. Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano is produced by Offbeat Business Media for the OBBM Network. For OBBM Network programming information, call 214-714-0495. Unauthorized use of any part of Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano without prior permission through the OBBM Network is strictly prohibited.